Hi there, my name is WickedRaziel, and I want to give a quick update on my current opinions on the state of Black Desert. A little background about who I am. I'm a day one console player. I am a Witch main, and I'm currently 789 gear score for now. And before you ask why I don't play Wizard, come on, you know why. I am a true PvXer. I like to do basically anything that BDO has to offer. I've enjoyed in some level, or PvE, PvP, life skill. I do it all. I at least attempt to. Where I wanted to start today was with progression. I feel like recently, and this has basically been since Karazad, Sovereign, and now Edania armor, this base to deck system I do not enjoy, solely on the fact that like it feels like no matter how much I grind, it doesn't feel rewarding when I get an enhancement. It's +1, +2, +1. It never feels good. It at any point does it feel like going from like Tet to Pen Black Star a couple years ago. When you hit that Pen Black Star, you got that surge of like where you instantly felt the change. Your power level as a player increased. These enhancements now are so little baby steps that like you don't really feel it, and I feel like that takes the joy away from actually making gains. Something that I really do enjoy when they do it is the grindable like side grades, such as when you have to grind for your flame for like your fallen god armors, or even just stuff like the cups for your accessories, the enhancements for like your alchemy stone, the void crystals in Orzekia, all of these just small things, the Dekia fragments in the Dekia 2. I really enjoy going for these things that I can grind, finish, and be done with. It's just a cool little thing. It's like, hey, go grind here until you're done, then you can go do something else. And it's that very small, like achievable, cool, I finished this and now I have it, you know? I really enjoy that kind of stuff, especially with like the upcoming Edania content this week. I really do think I'm gonna enjoy the like end crystal grind, even though I know that might not be for everyone. I would say for the last thing under sort of progression, weekly and daily content sucks. To say the least. I really don't enjoy that Black Desert is moving more and more towards, here's a list of stuff you do every week, and that's going to take up at least 3 days of your playtime, is just doing the weekly checklist of boss splits, Land of the Morning Light world bosses, Edania boss, the Pit of Undying. It's just slowly growing through all of these things that you have to do. You can't not do them, because it feels like you're wasting your time if you're not, and I hate that. I don't mind weekly and daily content when it's optional, but when it feels forced, it sucks, especially because I feel like it's taking more and more away from like the sandbox MMO that I fell in love with. When we move on to PvE, there's like 3 sort of different types of grind spots that exist. You have the very old like pack-to-pack spots that don't really exist anymore. I think the last time they made those was like Odraxia or Odalita. I think Tungrad Ruins is kind of like that. I haven't grinded there. But other than that, they have moved towards the other 2 types that I would like to call like tower spots, where it's very basically just like you're standing somewhere and the mobs just infinitely spawn around you and you just keep grinding. I didn't like those spots at first, but with the introduction of the auto grind, I really do enjoy those kind of spots to some extent. I enjoy the grind for X amount of time, get your 1 minute break to like answer a Discord message or take a drink or maybe take a bite of food or just do something. It gives you that leeway and it will alleviate some of the stress of like grinding, I guess. I will say it's funny because on console, we got the auto grind spots before we got Dekia. So when we got Dekia, it sucks. I gotta say, grinding like Dekia 2 Olins and Dekia 2 Ash after grinding these spots that have auto grind in Land of the Morning Light and Ulukita, I miss it. I miss the fucking that break, and I hope that like in the future, just all tower spots eventually they add the auto grind. It's just a small quality of life thing that I've really enjoyed. The other, I would say the third type of grind spot is the hybrid spots, where it's not really pack to pack and it's not really a tower spot. I would say these are kind of like Orzekia or Darkseeker's Retreat, where you're kind of moving pack to pack, but it's kind of like 2 or 3 packs and you're just kind of going back and forth. There's not like a big pack to pack. It feels different, where it's by the time you're killing the first or second pack, the other one's respawning already. I would say leading into that, I don't mind hybrid spots, by the way. I think they're fine. Something that I think Prolibus has been like nailing, at least in my opinion, is the like events that happen during grinding, where it's like, hey, you're grinding Darkseekers and this random thing happens, or now more mobs are spawning, or you're grinding Orzekia, now there's like, you know, the elites you have to kill, and then you kill the boss. Like, I really enjoy the like sort of added like, oh, and now there's something else to do. The breaking of the routine in the grind spots. It's, I think, something that they've been doing really good at. I would say when it comes to PvE, there's 2 other big hot topics I want to touch on. The first being Agris. And I want to say that Agris changes have killed my motivation to grind. When Ulukita came out in the summer this year, or June and July, I grinded 3 to 4 hours a day until I had my A-Tours boots. It took me about a week to 2 weeks. I can't remember the exact number of days. And it feels like, and since the Agris changes, I grind less than ever. I grind when I have Agris, and then I don't grind when I don't have Agris. And I feel like the reason for that is because they have shown me, since the Agris changes, they have shown me my hour is worth this much silver. My time is worth this much money. And when I don't have Agris, my time is now worth less. And I don't like feeling like my time is worth less. And I think how you fix that, I think there's a couple of ways that you fix that. I think the obvious one is you just double the Agris cap, double the increased daily Agris, so you're getting like 40k a day instead of 20k, and the cap is 200k instead of 100k. I think that is just like a simple and easy fix. The other thing I'd like to like, hey, this is something that I think that they should do, is they should, because the money you make per hour has shifted into trash loot over like drops. You know, we used to grind for like accessories, and the accessories were like a lot of the money per hour, or something else like that. And now has shifted to the trash loot is majority of where your silver is coming from. And because of that, Arsha has not felt great to grind in a while, because the risk doesn't feel worth it, because 50% drop rate past the 300% cap doesn't really change how much silver you're making per hour. Very little. And I think that how you add more competition in Arsha is you make it perma Agris, where you don't spend Agris there, but you're getting the 150% drop amount. I think that would revitalize Arsha in a good way, and it would actually make a lot of people want to grind there, and it would give players that are out of Agris a way to grind that silver. The other thing is that it was brought to my attention that Agris was intended to be like a way for players to catch up. I never felt like that, but some people do, and some people believe that. And I feel like a good way to like actually really help new players is to maybe have like Olvia servers that only new and returning players can have access to, also perma Agris, so they can not have to spend their Agris points for the first like 30 days they're back, or for new players the first 30 days. And it's just perma Agris. It just helps them sort of get that like first burst of silver. I would say like the other big point when it comes to PvE is, and everyone in the community is saying this, is group grind spots. Please, for the love of God, it is such a travesty that there is no group grind spots in Edania after the community has been begging for them for 2 years, if not longer. It really pains me to learn that the Dekia group grind spots, especially Dekia Gyphins, got canceled, because somehow they heard the feedback that we didn't want Dekia, but they didn't hear the feedback that we wanted group grind spots. And I get that they're like, oh, well, we're going to cancel Dekia because they don't want this. But how can you hear that feedback and not hear the fucking community screaming from the roofs, give us group grinds? Like, we want to grind with our friends. Olins is stale. No one wants to grind Olins anymore. You took away Turos. There's nowhere else to group grind. Give us group grind spots. How hard would it be to just be like, hey, the next 2 or every region, we're going to do 1 to 2 group grind spots as like a fucking precedence across the board. I just don't understand it. It feels like the developers are being intentionally dense on this, and I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is that group grind spots are probably maybe harder to balance than just tower spots or hybrid spots in the money you make per hour, and they're lazy. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of. Calming down, I just want to very quickly say, hey, if you're watching, I appreciate you. If you could do me just a big favor, just if you like the video, drop a like. If you want to subscribe to me, I'm going to be trying to put out a video a week starting from this week. Leave a comment if there's something you liked or something you disagree with me on. I'd love to talk to people that maybe have a differing opinion. This Thursday when Edania drops around 7 p.m. CST, I'm going to have a big enhancing stream. I have around 150,000 Cron stones. I'm maybe going for Oct offhand day 1. So if you know, maybe you enjoy me, maybe try to come hang out. Moving on though, we do have now life skill. Life skilling's felt rough. So as a PVXer, as someone who tries to do everything, my biggest gripe with life skills right now is that unfortunately I don't have Cron stones to spare to enhance pre-owned accessories. I just don't. It isn't a thing for me. All of my silver, all of my time is going towards my main gear, and unfortunately, like I wish they would do something where almost like they have the stones in Edania that lets you like they're like alternate ways to enhance your Fallen God armors from like Try to Tet or whatever. I wish from life skilling you could get stones that were basically like replaced the Cron stones to enhance pre-own, where it's like, hey, you know, maybe once an hour when you're gathering or hunting or bartering, you have the chance to get this item that just says, hey, you don't need to use Cron stones when you tap this pre-own. That's it. Just an alternate way of like not forcing players to use Cron stones for everything. That's what I want. The second thing that sucks is they increased the mastery cap from 2,000 to 3,000, but it doesn't fucking matter because realistically, the cost it takes to go from 2,000 mastery to 3,000 mastery, like in terms of enhancing, you will never make that money back at 3,000 mastery. The amount of silver that you're making per hour does not increase by an amount that is reasonable to the cost of getting there. And I feel like at least a couple years ago, active life skills used to make around 50% of the best spot in the game. It hasn't been that way in a long time, but I think that's what it should be. I think if you are in fully kitted out life skill gear and you're sailing and bartering, or you're active gathering, or you're active hunting, you should make around 50% of what the best current PvE grind spot is if you have the best life skill gear. I think that's very generous. If you're looking at like Garmoth right now, the best grind spot in the game is making like 4 to 5 bill. I would simply just say like active life skills should be making 2 bill an hour, and they're not, and it sucks. Moving on to PvP. Occupation Node War sucks, and I know that's not really a take that is like landish. It's a very common take. It's just they suck. The whole like roulette it's no matter how strong your guild is, it doesn't matter. It's whoever last hits the fort the last time the fort flips, and that's it. That's the mode. It's glorified RBF. No one likes it. Console has this weird problem where we had 3 major alliances in the game. 2 of them combined to beat the strongest alliance. And because there are so many guilds in that new alliance, they have it set to occupation because it is easier for guilds for them to make sure that all of the guilds in the alliance get nodes that week for siege. And it sucks. I hate it. I hate the idea that like, oh, we know that this mode sucks, but we're going to present the PA that we prefer this mode, because that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like the Prolibus. They are choosing occupation over construction, and they're only doing it because they are afraid of the weaker guilds in the alliance getting locked out during the week on construction, and it's extremely hard to get locked out during occupation. But construction, there's a fear that, oh, we can get, our weaker guilds can get, you know, pushed in 10 minutes and locked out. And it sucks that, like I said, that they have it on occupation, which is showing Prolibus console likes occupation, or at least North America console likes occupation. I hate it. I wish it was changed. I wish construction was 2 hours, but again, we don't even get construction anymore because the strongest alliance on the server is set its occupation, and there's very little chance it's going to switch back. When it comes to other PvP, I wish one-sided decks in open world PvP. I had talked about changes to make Arsha more popular earlier. I think something else they can do, and I feel like this has been said before, just make it to where if a guild has won a node war, they own a siege castle, or have sent a declaration of a guild war, they can be one-sided decked. It's a very simple, if they have opted into PvP, they can be one-sided decked. And then once none of those conditions are true, so say they win a node war, they can be decked for a week. Once they lose that node, then maybe all the decks drop. But I think that, like, at least for the guilds that have opted into PvP, just bring back one-sided decks. I know that you're probably not going to, but that's my solution to this. Otherwise, on PvP, I just have to say, the DR meta sucks, but the evasion meta sucked too, and I don't really fucking care. I'm at the point where they're going to nerf DR, and then people a month later will bitch that evasion is too strong, and then we're going to be bitching for 2 years that evasion is too strong, and then they're going to nerf, and then it's going to keep flip-flopping, because I don't trust Prolibus to ever find a middle ground where both are viable and both are equally as strong. It's always going to be one is stronger than the other. People are going to complain, and that's just the way it is. Well, that's kind of my opinion of the game right now. Thank you for watching. Before I go, I just need to say one more thing. Give Awakening Witch Split teleport, you fucking cowards.